Now pose your question. You can unmute and ask your question.
Hey. All right. Thank you very much, Denisha. Professor Veith, I had two questions. One was very simple. I just wanted to ask, when, from your understanding, when did the preaching of the third angel's message begin? You know, in relationship to the first and the third. I mean, sorry, the first and the second. And so that's just one question. And the other one had to do with just advice as to how we can practice medical missionary work and safely navigate the legal ramifications and stuff that, you know, certain countries or districts may have up. So yeah, those are the two questions.
All right. As to the first one, when the Advent movement started after 1844, then the message, of course, was the coming of Christ. And they were based on the 2,300-day prophecy. And they thought that the coming of Christ would, of course, bring about an end to what they believed was this earth that had to be cleansed. Now, when Christ did not return, then they realized that they have a message to bear. And there was a message to be preached to every nation, tribe, and people. And a study of the book of Revelation revealed that that message was the three angels' messages. Now, the first one, that the hour of his judgment had come, was, of course, related to Christ's ministry in the sanctuary above, right? So the very first thing after 1844 that they had to realize is that the earth was not the sanctuary, but it referred to the ministry of Christ in the sanctuary that was not made by hands, but that was of divine origin. So once the sanctuary message and the plan of salvation was better understood, then it moved into the next phase. When that message was rejected, that is when they realized that Babylon had fallen. So the message Babylon has fallen because they would not accept the message of the sanctuary message, which is basic to the Bible and is what the Old Testament is basically comprised of. Then they realized that Babylon had fallen. But then they also discovered the Sabbath. And they realized that the Sabbath is a binding commandment of the Decalogue. And once they had accepted the Sabbath, and this was rejected, then they started to realize that this was the mark of the beast that they were dealing with, because the Sabbath was the mark of God or the sign of God's authority. And the opposition to that was, of course, the opposite, man's law, which had changed the Sabbath from the Saturday to the Sunday. So the three messages were sequential. They didn't come at the same time. They came as the first message was realized in its fullness as to what it entailed. The rejection thereof led to the second message. And finally, the issue of authority and obedience became the third message. And so they were sequential. So it happened between 1844 and 1846. Now, can you repeat the second question?
Yes. Yeah, the second question was I was just asking for advice as to how we can practice the medical mission work in light of some of the legal structures that prevent us, that could prevent us from doing so. And I guess the background for that is I had a friend who was practicing massage, but he found out that there's some certification requirements that you have to have if you are practicing massage. So what he has to do, he never uses the word, he never refers to doing massage. He may say, I will, I can rub your back or rub your arm, but he knows that if he uses the word massage, then somehow he can be in danger of something. And so I was wondering if you have advice as to, safe ways to be faithful in doing the medical missionary work, but also avoiding any unnecessary, like legal restrictions.
Well, the problem in the world today is that there are so many restrictions that are placed on people, and there is such a propensity to take these matters to the next level, to the legal level. But that eventually people will come to realize that they do not receive the help that they were hoping for in the conventional situations that they have. And it is often the case that people that have been given up, or where there is no hope for them in terms of the standard medical practice, it is those people that turn to the alternatives for help. And desperate times create desperate needs. And so, yes, we will face this problem all the time. So the only way to deal with it is, as you correctly said, let me give you a neck rub. Let me help you with this, that, and the other. Let me come and help you make some smoothies and to do some juicing for you. And to run along those lines in terms of just a compassionate helping hand, rather than claiming to be a medical guru with all the answers. I think the only way in which we can deal with it in the times that we are living in is through the act of compassion. Because if you set yourself up as this medical guru who is going to solve what the rest of the world can, then you are setting yourself up for failure. So it's through the act of compassion and addressing need that we will be able to practice medical missionary work.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for answering those questions, Professor Veith, and thank you for asking them, Pastor Dixon.